Hello, welcome to another edition of the Pace Report. I'm Brian Pace, reporting live here at the famous Birdland Jazz Club here in New York City. As you know, here on the Pace Report, I'm always about the past, present, and the future as far as musicians and artists that are getting ready to not only make a dent in the music industry, but also moving Black American music forward. Tonight, I'm proud to introduce, in her debut as a leader, Tawanda. Now, Tawanda hails from New Mexico, and she won last year's 2021 Sarah Vaughan Vocal Competition, which was judged by Christian McBride, Carmen, Lundy, and the great Vanessa Rubin. Now, Smile is her debut record on Resonance Records, and it's a myriad of her coming out to the music world by performing songs of the Great American Songbook, as well as some contemporary songs written by the likes of Sting, as well as the great Gary McFarland. Tonight here on the Pace Report, she's being backed by John di Martino and his trio, and I had a chance to sit down to talk to her about her origins growing up in New Mexico, as well as talk about why she decided to compete in the Sarah Vaughan Vocal Competition, as well as talk about and reflect on some of her very important influences. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the New York City debut of vocalist Tawanda performing music from her debut album, Smile, here at Birdland, here on the Pace Report, here in New York City.
Well, everybody feels with jealousy when they see you out with me. I don't blame them, goodness knows you're my honeysuckle ride. When you're passing by, flowers droop inside. I know the reason why, boy. Your confection, goodness knows. Honey, 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 I don't buy sugar. You just have to touch my cup. You're my sugar. Oh, baby, it's sweeter when you stir it up.
Yeah.
And when I'm taking sips from your twisted lips, seems the honey there drips. Cause your confection, goodness knows, honeysuckle road. How every honey fills with jealousy when they see you out with me. Oh, I don't think jealous with jealousy when they see you out with me. I don't blame them, baby. Goodness knows you're my honeysuckle rose. When you're passing by, if I was drooping aside, and I know the reason why is your confession. Goodness knows you're my honey, honey, honey. I don't cry sugar, no, just have to touch my cup. Oh, my sugar, oh, honey, it's sweeter when you stir it up and you bring up that honey and you don't forget you. And honey, I know how to do. You're much sweeter, goodness knows. You're my honeysuckle rose. You're my honey, 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 honey. Yes, you're my honeysuckle rose.
Tawanda, this is your New York debut. This is the first time you've performed since you've won the competition. And your debut album, Smile, how do you feel right now?
I feel really good. Yeah, I'm very honored to be here. This is a huge moment for me to be playing at the historic Birdland and yesterday at Keystone Korner, and for this to be really, I've played maybe 15 serious jazz shows in my life, so this is huge for me, and I'm still learning so much about jazz as a genre, as a lifestyle, so I feel really, really proud. And I think, I think this is a great moment for my family, and of course George, the producer, and everyone to be very, very proud of. So yeah, come a long way, and I can't wait to keep going.
You are the winner of the prestigious Sarah Vaughan Vocal Competition, and you had 3 heavyweights who they've been on my show. You had Carmen, Lundy, you had Vanessa, Rubin, and you had Christian McBride as judges. How did we get to that point where you decided to compete in this major competition?
Yeah, in many ways, I don't feel oftentimes ready for a lot of these things, coming from a background where we didn't listen to a lot of jazz music. So I'm really finding this voice all on my own. I've had a lot of help. I've had a wonderful vocal instructor who has really guided me on that journey, and I wouldn't have submitted for the Sarah Vaughan Vocal Jazz Competition had it not been for George Klabin, who is the owner of Resonance Records and ended up producing my first album. So he really, he believed in me, and he thought I had the talent and the voice to be able to compete. And I don't ask questions too much when ideas like that are positioned to me. I really just thought, I'm gonna go with this flow. If I don't win this, it's not a big deal because I am still learning and there's still so much growth that needs to be done. But at the same time, the judges who you mentioned, they saw and heard something in me as well. So that's just proof to me that I'm on the right path. And I'm not gonna stop this relationship that I'm building with this music. So yeah.
It's a message we have all needed. We started recording this during the pandemic, and I think you can hear its message. Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by if you You just smile.
At 26 years old, you know, people are gonna watch this. You're like you've been doing this for a very long time. Now here's a sidebar to what I've found out. You just came into jazz not even under 5 years. So how did you soak all of this up? Tell me some of the process and the processes of you learning American songbook, the style, mastering your style. I mean, there's a lot right here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could start back when I was in school. I grew up very, very much choral trained, so that was where, you know, the breath support and the diction came in to play. So I was doing a lot of that, and then in high school we did some show tunes. I was in a show choir, so there I started to do like Broadway tunes and songs that were part of the Great American Songbook, a lot of Gershwin and stuff like that. But I didn't realize at that time that that was jazz music, and I didn't yet appreciate the history of the music. And then in college, only then was when I started to study jazz vocals, and my instructor Mirabai Daniels, she got me out of the box that I was in, because I was so used to singing, you know, choir music, you're singing just what's written on the page, and there's no improvisation, and there's, you know, so it took me a long time to get comfortable with that, and that's the one thing I really would like to work on more, is improvising and being able to scat like Ella, like Sarah, like yeah, like Veronica Swift, you know, like just swinging and perfectly just nailing it. That's my goal at this point. So yeah, and then from there, after New Mexico, I moved to Los Angeles, kind of on a whim, just to prove that I could, after a very, very heartbreaking, earth-shattering breakup. And that's where the emotion comes from to sing these songs, and that's why ballads are my favorite songs to sing, because I feel like I can pull from a lot of, I've always been drawn since I was a child to very kind of like somber melodies and like minor chord structures and all of that, so I'm able to pull from those emotions and you know, so many experiences I've had in life feeling othered or feeling heartbroken because, you know, for a variety of different reasons, which I could go on all day about that, but back to that, I think, you know, I'm kind of rambling at this point, but I promise it'll make sense at the end. My sister once said that people can't listen to jazz if they haven't had heartbreak, and I totally agree with that. It's like jazz music is so emotional, and it's very honest and raw, and it's that telling and creating the story and really painting these pictures that is such a big part of jazz. So I think that came to me naturally, because I was raised with you know, world music background, so that came to me naturally. And then just kind of studying those jazz vocals in college helped me kind of have more of a direction to, you know, learning chord structures, and because you have to be very intelligent to sing this music, and you have to know, you know, which key is it in, what chords are being played, and when you're improvising, you're always hoping to do like melodies that are present there. So you have to study really hard, and you have to know, you know, what you're doing. But at the same time, it's really just about truly and honestly and in the most raw way you can, just being emotional and telling the story. So from that A to B, I think I have, I've come to a place where I can express myself and people can feel and understand that. And that's how, I ended up at the competition. And sorry, I'm so rambly.
It's all right.
Like, woo, yeah.
It's all right.
This song is my favorite song to sing. It's a colorful song. When I listen to this song, I like to think of the portrait it's painting, and I feel greens and blues and purples. So we'll paint this picture for you. The windows looked out onto a pattern never ending of flowers and trees and little pathways all descending to the garden far below us, the pavilion in the sunlight, where the peacocks proudly grace the sea. A vision of a timeless place, another way of living. You moved in so close, I really thought that you were giving. I allowed myself a moment to believe that you could need me, to reflect upon what might have been. The summer sky I saw reflected in the color of your eyes, but somehow I could never peel away the layers of disguise. I'm drowning now, I'm slowly sinking in a sea of blue and green, where what you are is never seen. How can anybody know you? I still hear the ringing of a church bell in the morning, the peacocks still calling out their sad and bitter warning. Beauty's only an illusion. Here your truth is an intrusion. A mirage is all it's ever been.
George Klabin produced your debut record, Smile, and there's some songs I just have to ask you about. I'm a huge Sting fan. I was in high school when I was a sophomore when the Nothing Like the Sun record came out, and you touch on one of the three iconic songs on that record, Sister Moon. How did this song come into the whole trajectory of this recording album?
Well, I have to say George was incredibly instrumental in the song choices of the album, to be honest. And you know, we did it at his studio, and I think he had a very clear vision for how he kind of wanted the debut to be. So Sister Moon was something that he pitched to me. He had heard another version of it, and I fell in love with the song. I really did. I think it's such a beautiful story about yeah, this kind of like forbidden love. And I love, you know, I'm like a second generation hippie at this point. I love the moon. I vibrate with the moon, and I love the moon for all of its kind of feminine attributes in different cultures as well. So I think it's a beautiful song that kind of tells that story as well. Yeah, it's a special one. Yeah.
And the, like you said, the lyrics are just, it's definitely a Sting song.
Yeah.
And again, you gotta bring a very unique voice to it. You also do a Gary McFarland classic, Sack Full of Dreams. And my foray with that song is Grady Tate, the Windmills of Your Mind record. My dad played but there's also the Donny Hathaway version too.
Yes, that's
you like
the version I love.
what's the lyrical? What does that song mean to you?
Yeah, Sack Full of Dreams, especially when it's sung by Donny Hathaway, that really spoke to me because, as we know, he had a very, very, challenging life, and I think he experienced a lot of very heavy things. And so for him to sing that song is so beautiful because, you know, life is filled with moments where we're not connected with others and we're not connected with ourselves. And yet we do all have this collective dream of peace and love, and so it's a very powerful message, and I think it's a message that the world needs, especially now.
Because there's a mixture on this album of contemporary songs, and there's some standards on here too. And tonight, when people watch this, they're gonna see how you can handle both worlds. Is there some things that you want to do this, because you're relatively young? Are there some artists that are in your generation that you kind of want to put a twist to Black American music?
Yeah, you know, I'm still kind of figuring that out, and I listen to so much music, and I listen to all kinds of music. I'm like listening to house music, I'm listening to singer-songwriter things, like I really love like Leanne LaHavas and Georgia Smith. I love what she's been doing too. I love Jasmine Horn. I guess my more contemporaries, but also like, you know, not as produced, like things that are a little bit more organic. I'm drawn to kind of like American folk, like James Taylor and Carole King. There are so many different things I would like to do, but I think I'm definitely trying to head into a direction that is kind of a fusion of a lot of things. I do sing a lot of standards now because I'm, again, still learning, but ideally I would love to throw some you know, I don't know. I'd love to give my own take on some like popular treasures, or start songwriting on my own as well. That's something we've been discussing for a while. So it's always hard for me to come up with, you know, covers that I want to do. I think I'm really ready to try songwriting on my own, and I have done that in the past, but now with all of this information from jazz, I think I could come up with things that are very special and would really kind of show off my style and my own unique sound as well.
So you recorded this album during COVID. How was this therapeutic for you?
Yeah, in so many ways. I had some very, very tough moments. I lost a job. I moved back home for a little bit, and there was just so much fear and uncertainty, as there always is. There's still that lingering feeling of that, and I think just the way that the world is kind of shifting and falling apart, you know, environmental issues aren't being taken seriously, so the literal future of the earth isn't guaranteed, and that brings me so much kind of anxiety. That not being sure is very scary, and it's also very sobering, and I think it turned me into more of an adult in a way. I just kind of, yeah, woke up to this reality. And so to be able to sing these songs, many of which are about love and joy and dreams and hope, was just so challenging but so necessary. I was in a very dark place for a lot of the recording, and yet I knew that I had to do this and I had to sing these songs, even though, you know, it wasn't, you know, even though I wasn't aligned and attuned directly to it at the time. And I think George Klabin knew that as well, because the whole world was going through a tough time. And so this was really like creating this offering for the world, to hopefully, yeah, let people smile and let people experience these moments of happiness. So, and that in turn brought me so much joy, and everywhere we go with the album, I think a lot of people who are listening can resonate with that and feel the same way.
From New Mexico. Mm-hmm. Your mother is German and your father is from Mozambique. How does this work?
Yeah, it's a long story, and as you know, I love to talk, but I'll keep it short and sweet. Yeah, so my parents met in Germany. My dad was fleeing his kind of war-torn country that was going through a civil war at the time, and he needed to basically flee and make money for his family, so he ended up going to Germany, which was a communist country as well. Mozambique and Germany were both communist countries at the time, and they were offering like labor positions. They were like, you know, come and work for us and we'll house you and we'll all of that stuff. So then they ended up meeting in Berlin when the wall came down. They were on different sides, and then met at a party, and then my mom wanted to leave Berlin, and then she moved to New Mexico. She was first offered a position in Detroit, but she thought, I'm done with the city, so I want to live more in the countryside. So moved there, they married, and then a year later I was born. And yeah, it's a beautiful story. It's always a pleasure to share it, because it's just so funny how people from literal opposite ends of the earth could come together, and it really feels like, yeah, some parts of it are like fate and destiny, because I think of all the different ways in which it couldn't have happened or something. So yeah, but yeah, there I was in New Mexico. I feel I'm a very proud, very strong New Mexican. We share so much culture with Mexican culture that's just infused into New Mexico, and I feel very grateful and very honored for that as well. But yeah, you know, it was also tough growing up in a place where there weren't a lot of Black people, being raised by a white mother. My dad was on the road a lot, so it was just me and my sister, and yeah, it was a beautiful childhood. But yeah, I'm so grateful to be here now. I wouldn't have known, but I always knew I wanted to be here.
Blue skies smiling at me. Nothing but blue skies do I see. Bluebirds singing a song. Nothing but bluebirds from now on. You know, I never saw the sun shining so bright. I never saw things going on so right. Noticing the days hurrying by. When you're in love, my how they fly.
Tawanda and the John di Martino Trio.
Tawanda, what does jazz music mean to you?
Jazz music to me is just, I think, yeah, as I said before, just pure, honest expression. It's incredibly empowering because it doesn't matter if you come from a family of jazz musicians or not, like me. If you're just hoping to express your soul's song, your most authentic self, jazz is the avenue to just show up and for people to really see you as you are. And I think that's such a beautiful magic. It's also a lifestyle. It's a creative liberty and a freedom that you can apply to every aspect of your life, whether you're just engaging with a stranger or watching the birds fly or doing something like just sitting in your room pondering, you know, a strange or sad experience. It's just, it's like every waking moment just shown as it is. So yeah, and it's hard to explain also. It's just something also more that is felt. I think putting words to it is fun to put words to, but yeah, something like that, definitely.
That'll do it again for another edition of the Pace Report. I'm Brian Pace, reporting live here at the famous Birdland Jazz Club here in New York City. Make sure you go out and support Tawanda. Her brand new album, Smile, is now available on Resonance Records, and you can buy it on iTunes, Amazon.com, and CD Baby. Also follow her on social media by way of Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook to find out her upcoming tour. Also, I'd like to personally thank the staff and management at DL Media for arranging my time with Tawanda. Also, the staff and management here at Birdland for their warm hospitality. As always, people, I can't stress this more than enough. Please like, share, and subscribe to my videos here on YouTube and Vimeo, as well as Facebook, as well as leave comments. Until next time, remember, if it's in the groove, it'll make you move. Until next time, peace.
Oh,